Alrighty, we finished it. And this might be the best looking one yet. I got it fairly in a clean line, just about all the way around. Didn't have to fix any holes this time around, which is nice. The only thing I have to worry about with this weld is that it literally all it has to be is strong enough to structurally hold, which we were attaching 1/8 inch thickness to 1/16. So I turned up my wire speed and my voltage a little bit and just angled it more towards the thicker metal so that I didn't burn through the 16 gauge. And so because of that, I think we got a good bead. But the main thing for the intake part is that it just has to be structurally strong and airtight. That is it. You don't have to worry about having super deep penetrating welds because this part is the least hot part of the entire engine. So it's going to be under a lot less stress than the rest of the engine. Your most important welds your two most important are going to be this weld down here of your combustion tank to your reducer that goes to your exhaust pipe. And then they're going to be your reducer to exhaust pipe weld. Those are going to be your two most important ones for this kind of project. But now the last piece we have left is my exhaust pipe right here. So I'm going to let this cool for a little bit just to not stress the metal out too much because I don't want to warp it. And then we're going to be welding on the last piece for now. And it's going to be rather cool indeed. Is that a hole? No, it's not. Okay. I saw there's a little dot of slag and I thought it was a hole. This weld is just absolute, not great, but it'll do. Maybe. I don't know. Third most important weld is that one, and last important is that one. But then after I finish this, I am going to assemble my propane feed off of my parts that I have in here. All these parts I got off of Amazon, and this as well as my button and that. I'm probably going to trade out my button for a switch so that I can continuously start it without needing to just press the button repeatedly. So I'll probably do a switch instead of a button. And then I'll need to get some heat resistant wiring to run from my switch to the spark plug because I really don't want my wires melting, because that would not smell good and it would cost me more money. But I've got my I have like a 0 to 20 psi regulator right here for my propane feed. I have just extra pipe lengths, and then I have assorted pieces, so I can attach my stuff. This is a female to female reed valve. I think it's a reed valve, maybe needle valve. I don't remember quite the name. And then I have this to it's like a, I don't remember the name, but basically it's a clamp that screws into here and clamps onto this 1/4 inch copper pipe. And I have 10 feet of this. And what I'm going to wind up doing with that is I'm going to run this, and then this valve right here is probably going to sit maybe 2-3 feet away from the engine. And then I'm going to take my copper pipe and I'll have, my other end feeding in the combustion chamber. Any excess I have of copper pipe, I'm probably just going to wrap around the exhaust pipe, like coil it around it to help heat the fuel, which will help aerate it a lot better and ensure that I'm getting like a good flow. So that's what I'm probably going to wind up doing with that, because I also really don't want a whole bunch of excess wire just laying in places, because that's a tripping hazard, and it's not something you want to be doing around a pulse jet, because they're very hot to touch. And yeah. So finish welding that, and then I might drill my my feed in for my copper pipe today, but I don't think I'm gonna drill my spark plug yet, because I don't have it here, and I'm still not sure what nut size I'm gonna need for that in order to get the proper fitting to screw my spark plug into. So yeah, all that's gonna be for today is finish welding the main body and then make my fuel feed, and that will be that. And then once I get my spark plug here and I make my my little ignition entry for my spark plug and have that all set up and get my propane tank, we can do the first test run of it, which will be fun. Indeed. It's been a while, and this is Mark 3 of it, because the first one I was using, let's see, the original stick welder I had was just blew the hell up because I had a really crappy one. But I was using a little stick welder that was kind of similar to this, but it was like my homemade version of this. And then that one blew up, and I was like, oh dang, I really need a welder still, so I got like this little $60 one off of Amazon and ran that for a little while. And then that was what I used mainly. And then, but I just really didn't think a lower quality one was gonna work that much, so I got a MIG welder for my birthday that I've been using, and that's what I've been using recently. But yeah, Mark II didn't work because my welds were crappy, because I was using a crappy home MIG welder, and then finished it off with a welder that ran differently and used different, like, you know, welding sticks on it, so it just wasn't great. And then the second one, I was working with resources I already had instead of buying pipes fresh. So what basically happened is I had a combustion chamber similar to this, that it still had a cap on the end of it, and I forgot to cut the cap off of it. So when I started it, there was nowhere for the pressure to go, and it blew to hell. Or, yeah, blew to hell, whatever. Okay. And so that one was not great. But now this third edition, I have been careful to check every step. I have a better welder, everything's looking good. And I think this one is going to be the one that works. I think we're going to make it. So yeah, I'll make another entry once I get the exhaust pipe attached, and that will probably be the last entry for the body welding set. Alrighty.